Live from HMD Studios, it's Stay Busy Special Edition with the boy, Armon Sadler.
Turn me up some, Armon. Turn me up some, dog.
Yes, sir. We here. Hey, man.
What's up, dog?
I saw you a couple days ago, but we're back.
We're back in the business.
How's your week been so far?
I'm tired already, but I'm trying to maintain. I took an accidental nap today on accident.
The accidental naps be hitting, though.
They hit because you just wake up. You don't remember the sleep part. You don't remember going to sleep. You just wake up and you be like, yo, what happened?
But it's also like your body telling you, yo, you need to
go to sleep.
Bring that ass here. But like I said, we are back. But this is not the normal thing. So we want to welcome you all to the first edition of a special series for Stay Busy with Armon Sadler that is more artist focused. Now, when we first introduced this podcast, we were very particular about, we want y'all to hear from publicists, from journalists, from A&Rs, from label executives, from the various people that we have been able to introduce you to. However, being that we have an artist who is the co-host, we're not going to isolate the artists. We are going to introduce a special series that is artist focused, where you can hear directly from these great minds. So, briefly, before we get into our very, very special guest here, who is sitting dripped out, by the way, very citrusy vibes. It's the boy Armon, vegan chorizo poppy, multiple miles Monday poppy, bald nigga ballers founder. Happy to be here. I'm with my guy. Who are you?
I was just gonna think of a name. I'm gonna have one mid episode. I'm gonna just blurt it out. But I got a green drink right now, y'all. So
you the Green Goblin?
No,
you gotta be more original.
I need something a little more regal than
Got
Goblin.
you.
Know what I'm saying? Something more kingly than that. But no, what's up, y'all? Nick Early, executive producing, co-hosting, Stay Busy with Armon Sadler. Glad to be here. The kombucha king that make your heart sing. Coconut water consultant. Water jug warden. All the above. It is.
There it is. And like we said, we have a very, very special guest with us. So originally from PG County, Maryland, currently residing in the place he titled his debut album after as of 2016. This artist is a bold storyteller whose authenticity is as firm as his vocal delivery. He doesn't shy away from the humanity within us all, depicting both emotion and struggles throughout his music. He fuses classic R&B, new wave soul, and funk rock in an era where versatility is what really sets you apart. Apple Music named him an artist we will love in 2021. Thank You for Listening was named one of the best R&B EPs of 2020 by Def Pen. This multi-talent draws inspiration from artists he encountered at an early age, such as Marvin Gaye, Prince, Avant, and Brandy, and has collaborated with the likes of Tank, Ye Ali, and written for Tone Stith. He just recently released debut album California that is sweeping the nation. It's fire. I love it. Obvious is the one. So here to talk about it all with us, our guy, Reggie Becton. How you feeling, bro?
What's happening? Feeling good. I'm happy to be here.
Get the natural claps.
I don't have cool names like you guys. I wish somebody would have prepared me for that part. So I'm going to have some cool names, but I'm chilling. I'm good.
Yeah, it's good to have you, man. It's honestly a long time coming. We've been supportive of you and your stuff for forever. Edgar's been super supportive of the podcast. Shout out to Edgar in the corner. I can't see him, but you can feel him. Usually, like Karen, you can't see him, but you feel him. Edgar's here. The guy, Marquise
is here.
The guy.
He just joined the tour.
Okay.
At a 24-hour call. We needed someone to drive our new vehicle. And Marquise is like my close friend from college.
Hey, there we go.
He just said, I'm down to come. So shout out to Marquise.
Yeah, shout out to the friends we make in college.
Shout
out to that.
The natural class.
But yeah, long time coming. I mean, Stay Busy loves the Village Music Group, everything that y'all are doing, all of the artists that you have. And we were really, really high on the album California. So it's perfect, honestly. It's perfect timing.
Thank you.
We're excited to see you perform. And yeah, we're just here and ready to talk, man, for real. So, but first we want to do a little warm up, little what do we call it? What do we call it?
Fun banter. I call it banter.
Fun banter. So,
it's not the name of the segment, but
of course we got to shout out all of our new listeners, returning listeners, last time listeners. I don't get why you'd be a last time listener, especially after you hear the conversation we're about to have. But shout out to all of you, whether you like jorts or joggers, YouTubers or bloggers, Spyro or Frogger, and fuck the world or Sonder son. I know that last one didn't rhyme, but you know I was struggling with it. But hey, yeah, you feel me? You feel me?
We get it.
It's a slant rhyme.
Slant rhyme. I'm big on. So come on, let's talk. Jorts or joggers, fellas?
What is a jort, bro?
Like,
jean short?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, joggers.
Yeah,
Joggers for sure.
Jogger vibes for sure. YouTubers, now this like or bloggers, like bloggers. People who just write stuff, YouTubers, and people who talk and react.
For me, bro.
I like bloggers, you know.
Okay. You like to read? You're a reading guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like when people like put the pen on paper and, you know, come up with some good wordings.
There we go.
I like that.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Spyro or Frogger?
I never played Frogger, so Spyro for me.
I could never really beat Spyro, so I'm going with Frogger.
Okay. I think I'm a Spyro guy. Spyro's more enjoyable to me. I remember that one time they like switched Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. Like they put them.
That was the only time I played it.
It was hard.
It's like Spyro versus Crash, or
like Crash was in Spyro's world, Spyro was in Crash's world.
Like that.
It was hard though. It was hard. I loved it. Now this one, "Fuck the World" or "Sonder Son" by Brent Faiyaz. Which album do y'all prefer?
Out of those two,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Saunderson.
Really? Yeah. I'm the opposite actually. That was the project for me. So like the Sonder EP was the one when I was running that up,
Yeah.
And then the Saunderson didn't really like. I guess it didn't like capture me. Gang Over Love was my favorite joint on there, but I guess it didn't like. I don't know, something about it. But of course, the most recent one just was out of here. So for me, that's just my personal.
I think I prefer "Fuck the World" too, but like as I revisited Saunderson just to see, because like when I first heard it, it was it's got a lot of gems on there. It's a lot of gems on there.
A lot of sleepers on there that people gotta go back to.
Yeah, it's like I think it's interesting, like the whole movement around "Fuck the World" just like made it so like there's no conversation for people. It's like that's the one, and like while I prefer it, I'm like the gap isn't that wide between "Fuck the World" and Saunderson. So
I gotta run back Saunderson.
Yeah, definitely revisit. Responsible revisit.
Okay,
you are on the clock.
We'll do that.
Of course, we got to shout out our VP, Kieran Hurley. Shout out to Anchor, our distribution platform. If you do not know, Anchor will distribute your podcast for free to all the streaming platforms. You can get some sponsor ads regardless of your listenership. And HMD Studios, Camden, holding it down with the silky on.
Silky back.
Yeah.
Masked up.
Back silked.
Mask on. Fucking mask off. Anyways, Reggie, man, in New York, touring.
New York, touring.
Show coming up. Album doing numbers. Just generally, how are you? How you feeling?
That's a bit layered. I'm a bit exhausted due to being on the road and tired, but I'm feeling accomplished.
Good.
You know, I think the album's coming out and it's connecting with people, and that was something I really wanted it to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now that people are listening to it and I'm getting those DMs or those messages like, this song is amazing, this song, you know, like really it's my life. It's like a good pat on the back. And it's just like the just do. I feel like avenged in a sense.
Vindicated for sure.
Vindicated. There we go.
Vindicated. Yeah,
it's
like
been a long time coming. Yeah.
all this work has not gone in vain.
Exactly. And I
For
think
real.
before the project came out, we knew how we felt about like me, Megan, and Edgar, and Aiden, who executive produced the project, and Marco.
Shout out to Aiden.
But we all knew that like it was amazing, but we also knew that it was different and that it would be something that people would have to like listen to and give a chance, and then maybe go back and listen to it again, and then they would get it. And we've been getting a lot of tweets and messages like on the second listen is where it set in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, this is what it was for. So
What's it like dealing with that feeling? Just give a little insight of like, it's not nervousness. It's a confidence mixed with the like, is it that good? Like I want that. I know the vindicating what you're saying is like, you're in the studio, y'all with vibing on, you're like, yo, this is crazy when this hits. Yeah, I know it's gonna hit. I just want people to give it a chance. But what's it like dealing with that feeling, that mix of emotions?
I think it's tricky. I think like they'll tell you like, but before the album came out, I wouldn't let anybody hear it. I didn't want my creative team to hear it. I didn't want my publicist to hear it. I was just like, no, let's wait till we get it fully mixed and mastered. And because we had to start the rollout before we had the full project done, we had to let them hear a version of it. And to me, the response that we got was never the response I wanted to hear. And to me, everybody responded like it was some lukewarm. Like everybody was like, all right, thanks for sending this our way. We should do, like, to me, that's how everybody responded to it.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, it was like, thanks for sharing. We'll listen over the weekend and we'll get back. And we was talking to some labels and some distro people at the time. They were responding well to it, but I'm like, maybe this is just some industry shit. They just want to be with the company or whoever it was.
Right.
And now, so it gave me a lot of like back and forth and imposter syndrome. And I think it also was because there's nothing on the project I would say that sounds like super like current. So that's probably why I didn't like do anything where like you see people in the studio and they're like previewing songs. I felt like all the songs you wanted to hear in their entirety to be able to get it, to really see the bigger picture. I think like songs like Issues and Room 143, it's so high we could have like previewed and stuff and they would have did good and people would have received them well. But even with those, I think that it still for me was always big picture. Like how do I make sure people understand the big picture and that how each song kind of plays off the next. But it was a lot of like down moments, I would say, while waiting to release the album. And just a lot of self-doubt and going back and forth. Like the album you hear, the 12 songs you hear was totally different, I want to say, in December of 2020. Was totally different in March of 2021, you know? So it was a lot of like playing with the track listing we went through. We recorded a lot of songs for it. But I think that the version we put out was the most like full to me. It had enough balance of like life music and music that was about my journey as California, and then enough music that would like satisfy the people who wanted a bop or two every now and then.
I love that.
Yeah. So, you know, as you said in the bio that was sent out, when I received the album, like I read everything. I look at all the details. I really want to get the story. It's just never just about music for me. Yeah. And, you know, so this album is depicting your 5-year journey, essentially. You deciding to move to California, everything that you've gone through, depression, issues, so high. Like just these titles are just like, they're to me, they come off as these chapters or these themes that you've experienced. And so like what I'm curious about is, were any of these songs like written around 2016, 2017, or are these all a bit more recent?
No, Scratches in the Mirror was written in like 2018. Depression was this year. Floating was 2018. They're from all over. I think Issues was maybe 2019. So High was a 2020 song. Losers was a 2020. Losers, Amnesia, Traffic, I wrote them all like in the same week almost. Tough week there. But yeah, so ETGME, that was like written on New Year's Eve of 2020. So yeah, a lot of them coming from this year. Obvious was the last one we added. That was done in like August of 2021. But yeah, so I would say from 2018 to now, we've been collecting some of these songs.
And it's kind of like a 2-part question. Like, do you feel like writing that, like, you know, like we said, you're depicting a 5-year journey, and so having written them 2 years later, 3 years later, but writing about feelings that you've experienced this whole time, do you feel like that gave you a bit more clarity? Because I know, like, for me as a creator, for other creators, I know like they want to be in the moment and capture how they feel in the moment, but for you, you know, covering 5 years, like you're kind of writing these songs a little later and reflecting. So do you feel like that gave you more clarity? Yeah,
most definitely. I felt like me writing the songs at a later date, like a song like Depression, I had to literally go back into like 2017 when I moved here 2016 when I first moved to LA. So I was writing this song in 2021, and I kind of like was experiencing a bit of depression, but it was nothing like the depression I experienced in 2016. And so I had to like take myself back to that place and like try to tap into that. And I think with how much time has passed, it allowed me to really know how I felt and like what was causing my depression, and really write from an honest place, because I felt like I had worked through a lot of those emotions. Yeah. Even with the song of like Issues, like it's about a 2016 relationship, but I wrote it in 2019, so I was able to like really put on paper how I felt or how I feel currently and how I felt then.
What's the inspiration? So I'm big on sequencing, arrangement, sequencing, and I remember first listen for me, having Depression be second was like, I mean, if you will, first, because you know the intro, but like, what was the inspiration behind that? Do you feel like that was really capturing the story of this is where I was. Like, this is really what California meant to me from the beginning. Like, explain that.
Yeah, I think like depression almost works like a second intro in a way. Like
Yeah.
it could have been the intro, and we played around with that idea. But I think I wanted depression there because I felt like that, like you get floating and you get me on the plane and you get like the thoughts that was going through my head and like why I moved out here. And I think that depression being next kind of like flips that on its head, and like, you know, you have these big dreams and things like that, and reality fucking sits in and
smack you in the face.
Yeah, and you're in this new place and you think it's gonna be like, I was moving to LA, I thought it was gonna be a breeze. I'm like, all right, I'm moving, it's not that big of a deal, it'll be fine. And then I get there and I'm like, the grocery stores are all named different, you know, like
you don't like Albertsons, bro?
I mean, I don't go to
Rouse?
Albertsons, I go to
Vons?
Rouse, but just like that mind fuck of things that like, okay,
Yeah.
there's no more Giant, there's no more Safeway. And so that was a big thing, you know, like not knowing the bus map, or you know what I'm saying, like trying to find my way around, getting lost every day. Like those are things that you don't think will bother you, but literally I was walking out of my house every day and getting lost.
Wow.
You know, then dealing with the sun shining every day, and like it's supposed to be a great thing, but the sun is shining and you're just sad on the inside. And I think from East Coast people, we're like groomed and developed to know that like when the sun is shining, it's like, all right, good days. Like summertime's coming, it's spring, all right, it's time,
wow.
like happy times. And when you move out west, it's always sunny, but your emotions don't match. Like you don't get no rain season to kind of like bring you down and match like the energy that you feel. So it was just tough in general dealing with that. So I think that was a big part of me wanting to say, like, let me put depression second, because I think that was the song to me that really was like, this is how I felt as soon as I got here.
It set the tone for sure. I'm from California.
Okay.
So it's interesting to hear people who are not from California talk about the experience of going and like what it means, because, you know, yeah, I would never think about it. Like you talking about the bus. I'm like, bro, we don't ride the bus.
Right.
We get in the car. Like everyone, even somebody got a hoopty. Like everyone got a whip. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really interesting to even hear that about the experience. But I'm glad you were able to, you know, like conceptualize and put it into song and whatnot. So
one thing I love about depression, since we're on that, is the line like, "I make it look good, I make it look sexy." Because if there's one thing that I've learned throughout my journey as a creative, is people have this expectation of you. People see you visible on social media, all that, and like they don't really know what's going on. And you can put on the biggest front and you could come in and clock in and make shit happen, but you going through it. And like, so I really felt that. And I guess like for you, like, have you, because you're so vulnerable in your music, you're so emotional, you embrace the humanity, like are you kind of at a place where you now you're okay just being like letting people know like, yo, I'm not okay right now, like I can't make it look sexy right now, like I just got to be me, and you just got to kind of accept like I might not have it in the studio, I might not be able to write this song for you, I gotta take these moments for myself.
Yeah, and I think that's something I still struggle with. I feel like with the album and like preparing for tour, there was a lot of things that people needed from me, and I just felt like I couldn't say no. So I didn't say no. And I think that now I realize, when like, if I say yeah to you, then I'm saying no to something that I need to do for myself.
Choosing and refusing.
Yeah. And I think that it's hard at first, but I think I'm slowly reaching that place to say that it's okay to say no to things. Although, like, you deep down, you really may want to do them. Like, you really may want to collab with somebody. You really may want to write somebody a song. You really might want to get in the studio with somebody. But you also have, like, your career and things to worry about and different things that you have to take care of. And I think now I realize, like, why we see sometimes where we're like, why aren't our favorite artists collabing together? Or why aren't they doing this song together, performing? It takes a lot. And I think that now I understand why sometimes it's just a no is sad.
Yeah. So who are you in the studio? I'm really curious, like, what guy are you in the studio? I feel like there's people who come in the studio that, I mean, from a creative standpoint, like, you know, there's people who are melody people, top line guys. There's people who are big picture. They can hear a beat and have the whole song done. They'll reference it and just have it ready. Some people just come in and they just write. They have a concept. Oh, where we going with the song? Boom, they got the whole thing. Who are you in the studio, and like, who are you trying to, I guess, become too? Because like for myself, I have ideas like, I want to be that. I want to be able to go in and access that skill really quickly. You know what I'm saying? But like, who are you in the studio?
In the studio, I would say I'm pretty chill. Like, California, I wrote 90% of the album by myself. So in the studio, a lot of it was just written in my room. With this album, I think all the songs I wrote like pen and paper. Really, I didn't really use my
Yeah, I
phone
love
for
that.
anything.
I love that.
I think pen and paper makes you think a bit more.
Get to
like
it. You really
you got to put the pen to paper, so you really take the time to think about what you're saying. But in the studio, I would say that I'm always looking for how I can be more poetic. I'm that guy. I'm like, all right, we could say it like this, but how can we take it a bit more poetry? How can we like say something that hasn't been said? I want to be a bit more fun with melody. I feel like I've getting to this place where I feel like I'm starting to get boxed in the same melodies. So I'm trying to like really, when I approach music now, I'm really trying to like get some new melodies and like just get some new sounds going. But yeah, no, it's been fun being in the studio and just working with other people and in general like collabing and getting to write for different people now.
That's great.
Yeah, it's been fun. Like, and it's crazy what like you get with different artists and like you write for them and they can do different things that you maybe can't do or that you don't do often, and it's like a whole different crayon box to paint with.
Living vicariously through them.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right. You said you was right. Did you write with Tank? You said
no. I have a song with Tank, but I didn't get to actually work with him.
Your favorite singer's favorite singer. That's what I call Tank.
Yeah. Tank is awesome. He goes crazy.
But speaking of poetic, it's something that immediately captured me when I first listened, because I also big on song titles. Scratches in the Mirror. That just resonated with me, something different. Like, can you explain a little bit about how that came about? And like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's a genius title. Cause like, it's really sensory driven. Like immediately I saw a mirror with scratches. I was in that, I thought about the whole thing. So tell us a little bit about that.
That one's one of my favorites. It almost didn't make the project.
Really?
I was I was mad tired by the end of that project just in general. And that was the last song Jeff started mixing. Shout out Jeff Jackson.
Yes. Love it, Jeff.
And
Love
the first mix I got back, I was just like, all right, like we too close to the deadline. I don't really have time to, Jeff was, Jeff and Aiden, they was like, yo, we gonna get this together. Take our time. I think we did like 2 8-hour. We might have did like 3 8-hour sessions, like the last
mixing
week
sessions?
before the album was done. We laid like 3 emergency kind of ones just to get everything done. But it was just taking a while. There was another song that actually was like in that same ballroom or something that we just didn't add to the album. But Scratches in the Mirror was inspired by I binge watched Game of Thrones. It's crazy. In 2018, before the last season came on, it was like I was on Christmas break or something, so I was home and I binge watched the last season, and I can't remember. I think the first line it was said like in the second season, like my heart is not a weapon in your fight for love. I think Tyrion said it or something like that. And I'm like, that shit is crazy. Like that's a cold line. Right. And I was like, this show, which is all about like family ties and like you have family siblings like backstabbing each other, then they forgive each other, and that's what this song is really about. It's like you have family, and we all look like our family members and siblings, and sometimes in that realm of things we get scratches, we go through things that like put mud on the relationship, and it's like tear us apart at times, but it's about like forgiving each other and coming back and just like loving each other for our differences. I think that when you're kids and you have siblings, like it's easy to be friends, but when everybody become their own man or become their own women, that's when you really have to dig deep and be like, all right, I can love you through that flaw. Although you get on my nerves. And some of the things we hate about each other are things that we like may have picked up from some things. So like my big brother, he's like one of my biggest role models, but I think some of the things that like he gets mad at me for, just hate about me right now, are some of the things that I took from him. Like I'm like, nigga, this is you. But so that's kind of what the song is about, like just like loving through those scratches in the mirror.
Love that, man.
So my 2 favorite songs actually follow each other on California. So High, which I wrote about on Pitchfork. Shout out to you for you and Ryan. Ryan killed that. Sure, like. Oh man, that's one of my favorite records like of this year.
Oh
like
wow, thank you, man.
It sounds, I described it when we talked about it on the pod. Like it sounds like you're like on clouds. Yes. Like just
aptly named.
Yeah, like you're like literally you're high up in the air listening to this beautiful song, and the chemistry between you two just feels like it feels like you two have known each other forever. Like,
that's the homie. We worked often together, and I think that's why like the chemistry on that song is just so fun. We were all sitting in my room, me, Edgar, Megan, my MD, Dev, Ryan, and Shaw. We was all in the room. We wrote it, and it was just fun. Like we were just going line for line, like, yo, what you think should go next? And we recorded like 3 a.m. It was so late in the morning. I know my neighbors hated me, but yeah, I think that song like sounds, the chemistry is crazy because me and Ryan, and while we're really cool, we respect each other's talents. We hang out outside of music and just have fun. And I think that it shows whenever we do a song together.
Yeah.
So. And then Obvious, which I've been very vocal. That to me is like the apex, the peak of the project. Like I spoke with Edgar about it when I
saw
heard
the
it.
clip. I saw the clip,
bro.
It's one of them ones. Bro.
Obvious is special. Like I was driving with my girl, she heard it. She looked up. She was like,
Who this
song? She was like, I was like, babe, it's Reggie. Like you've heard him. I played So High for you when I wrote Pitchfork, but like Obvious is special, man. Like what? And you mentioned that one was written August 2021. So like,
yeah.
What's the story behind that? And like, why did you feel like that? Just one, why did it make sense after So High and before Scratches in the Mirror? That's a crazy run right there. Like So High, Obvious, Scratches in the Mirror. That's a crazy run.
Thank you. And it's crazy because when we did that, when we used to talk about the album before it released, we thought the run that people would notice was going to be Amnesia, ETGME, and Room 143.
Also a good run.
At that, like that was the 3-song run. And now that it's out, people are definitely on the first half. Like we thought kind of like, we was like, yo, in our head, we was like, yo, people just got to get through the first half. Once they get to the second, we know we got them.
Yeah.
But now everybody's kind of like, the first half is where it's at.
First
so
half
it's
is
interesting
crazy.
to see. But Obvious, shout out KB, Deja, Dre, Easy, Shank, and Irvin. They all worked on that record. My homie KB, she was not going to let me release this album without a track that she helped A&R and things like that. So, and she was one of the ones I kept ducking because I was like, she kept saying, let me hear the album. I need to know like what you need. And I'm like, no, just set up a session. And she set up a session and she put together a dream team and we went in and we started to work on the song. And Deja, who helped me write the song, we started talking about what we wanted to be about. And I was just like, I'm in this place where I feel like, like friendships are like, they're starting to come to you certain friendships you start to have and you realize like, am I friends with this person because I've known them for 5 years or I've known them for 3 years or 20 years, or am I friends with them because I really enjoy this relationship?
Yeah.
And I think that was the inspiration behind the song. It's like when, everybody can tell that like this relationship is not serving us anymore, but we're just sticking through because we just have so much history, so many years have been put in. It's like, if I give up this relationship now, then I wasted all those years was in vain. And I think that it's a tricky situation that we all get put in. And some of us have the courage to be like, all right, I'm checking out. Like, it's good for me. And then some of us be like, yo, I'm going to stick through it. And it turns out you keep a friend for another 10 years. And now it's 20 years of friendship. So that's kind of like the story behind Obvious. We did it in one day. We wrote the song and recorded it in one day.
Those be the ones.
Yeah. It was super easy.
You don't overthink it. You just get it done.
It was super easy to do. There's an NDRE interpolation on it, who I love. So yeah, no, it's one of my favorites on the album for sure. We don't do it on tour. So before you guys come, I want you to know, it's not on a tour set list. You heard it here first. But we've been adding some things. So maybe by the LA show, it might be on there.
I'll fly out for it.
Is that because of the interpolation that y'all don't do it?
No. It's not because of that. It's just because we made the show kind of before the album came out. So we kind of was picking songs that we thought would, go up and things like that. And of course, we thought Obvious would be a great song. It was just one that I was like, I'd rather do these other songs. But because everybody's been knowing me, I'm pretty sure it's going to get added to the set list. Or maybe when, the California tour happens, that's when we'll do Obvious live, for the Obvious fans.
Okay.
Save something for that tour.
We need that one. We got to play that before we go.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. Yeah, Ali, man. So you too. Right Time remix with Tank, Amnesia. Yeah, Ali is someone who I feel like a lot of people know of him. They know about him. They know his work, but he still feels like this undiscovered gem within music almost, which is weird because again, he's very popular. Like he's on Twitter putting out his toxic tweets. People love them. Like he's producing
tweets in America.
Yo, his tweets are incredible. He's producing for everyone. He produced
Jack Harlow.
Yeah. Like he's doing his thing. So like, how did that connection get made? And like, what's it been like working with him? What have you learned from him? What do you feel like you even been able to teach him?
Yeah, no, he's my frat brother, so that's how that connection was.
I figured that one.
Another frat brother of mine, shout out Nick. He introduced us to each other, and one day, after being introduced to me, Ali was in the studio, And he tells me he was like working, and he was telling the girl that he was about to get in the studio with me, and she was like, yeah, you should really work with him, like he's fire or something like that. So he called me and was like, yo, I'm hitting the studio tomorrow, you should pull up. So I pull up to the studio, and he already has like Right Time done. And he's like, yeah, I just want like the hook, I just want you to sing the hook. We did like two other songs that day as well, and did the Right Time hook, and it was literally like in 30 minutes. And he was like, all right, cool, I got another session, I'm gonna head out. But I'm gonna hit you whenever we finish the song. So like now, fast forward, now we've been in the studio a couple times. We did some writing sessions for a top secret project that I don't know what's gonna happen, but some of that shit was in there that was fire. Then we did Amnesia. Then we recently got in lately and did some more stuff. But no, he is one of the I would say one of the closest people I know in the music industry. He gives me great advice, you know, about dealing with just like the music industry and the politics of everything. And one thing I always go to him for is just like, you know, like networking. He's a pretty low key individual, and he's been in the game for quite some time. And I think like for me, I'm just starting to really start collaborating with people. So when I first started collaborating with people, I was like, yo, everybody I work with, I'm going to be friends with them, and it's going to be yada, yada, yada. And then sometimes, you know, that's not the case. And like dealing with that at first, I was like, all right, am I not cool enough? Like, what's good with niggas?
Right.
Like what? Why you being weird to me type shit? And I just realized like to a certain extent, it is business. You know, like, we may do a song, but that don't mean we're going to be at Coachella the next week vibing. And I think that it's made me a bit more cherish those relationships I have with people like Jay Ali. But no, like he's super helpful. You know, anything that I need, anything that he can help me with, he always does. And one thing I love about working with him is that he always knows what he wants. I think that it's a true talent to be able to hear how you should collaborate with people. And I think that you can hear that on all his projects. Like on his projects, he always has features, and there's never a bad feature on there. There's never someone that feels out of place. It's always just the perfect person on each song. And I think that that's something we'll talk about years from now when we're discussing Ye Ali. It reminds me of Kanye. Be how Kanye is able to collaborate with people and just like bring anybody on track, like all of the lights, and have 27 people. I think Ye Ali can do that, and it'll sound cohesive. So I'm excited to see where he goes next. I know that, you know, that people are knocking down his door, trying to sign him and things like that. But he is very much, he knows what he wants, you know, and he's not backing down off that vision. And it's inspiring to see someone stick to their guns and still like make headway in the industry. And to me, every time he releases something, he's leveling up. He's working with the best of the best. So it's an honor to know him, man. He's told me a lot just about like music and not taking it so serious and just like going with the flow. Like when I record with Yali, it's like I always set aside like 5 hours, be like, all right, I'm in the studio, put on my calendar 5 hour block, and literally I'm there for like 90 minutes, and we'll do like 3 songs, and they'll all be he's a mover, and it's told me that like, you know, like I'm in the studio and I'm like trying to, you know, be so like, nah, that background is not matching with that one, you know, and he has that same quality control. I think that it's just a bit more confident and more secure, where it's just like, I know the first take is it. You don't got to do 30 takes to know the second take is the one. So, it's been fun working with him, and we probably do some more stuff soon. So
people also don't realize how much of the skill that is. Like, that's just getting your reps in, like putting your saying in the studio, referencing tracks, writing. Like that is a skill. So of course, that makes sense that you're saying all this stuff when you hear it in the product, when you listen to his music. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I want to ask you, this is kind of like another 2-part question. Usually Nick is the guy with like the 2-part, 3-part questions.
8-part questions. And so can you tie in and this and this and this?
And then go back to that one. But for you, man, like if someone who is aspiring, if someone like, I'm not speaking about you in particular, someone who is an aspiring independent artist would look at what you're doing, the numbers, the looks you're getting, Pitchfork, Billboard, Up Rocks, Elevator, all these places, verified on Instagram, which, you know, but people make a big deal out of the verified check. It's not that,
it's a check off the list.
Yeah, no. I'm not trying to downplay it, but people like aspire toward it and like they feel like they're less than if they don't have it,
and their bank account be empty. But
it's like, you know what I'm saying. But like all these things that you have, like, you know, someone would look at that and be like, oh, like he's there, like he's doing it. And so I want to ask you, one, what's your biggest piece of advice, or you could have multiple pieces of advice for someone who is aspiring to be in your position, but then also, even with all the success that you're having, what are some of your fears? Because you're still human. So, well, what are some things that you fear or you struggle with?
Yeah, I think that my advice to anybody like that's trying to be independent or just be an artist in general, I think it's just like, to create and just keep going no matter what. I think that a large part of being a creator is just staying consistent and constantly putting shots up at the board, and one day something is bound to land. I think that with that, you also should study. To me, I say this all the time, but like the music industry or just being a creator is a lot like pledging. Know that like you have to do research. You have to get to know the people in your industry and network, and like build a community of people that can hold you up when the shit gets tough and obstacles come about. You have to do research and like research the current artists and see like how they're making the opportunity happen for themselves. See the moves they're doing, trying to like make videos that compete with what they're doing. Like, oh, okay, there's people are starting to dance more in their videos, and it's not about like following trends. It's about applying the fundamentals to what you're doing. So if like people are making videos and visuals are still really becoming a thing, then start making strong visuals. If people are social media ads and things like that, like start running ads. Do what you can from your level to compete at your level and start to build that way. And I think that that's all things that me and my team do. We're super like study, like our DMs. You can probably find like thousands of different posts of us sending like, yo, did you see this? This tour poster looks crazy. Yo, did you see this? This video is crazy. Yo, you see this person working with that person. Yo, this the publicist. Like, like research the people. Like, it's a rabbit hole. Normally, if I post something, I'm tagging my whole team. So if you're looking for a publicist, my publicist will be tagged in the post. If I'm, if I'm looking for a new producer, I can go to someone at Ye Ali page and see he tagged the producers and then maybe reach out that way. It's not hard to try to like get in the room with certain people and things like that, and then you can just start building organically. Follow somebody and start commenting on their posts and things like that, and then pretty soon you'll have a relationship with the person, and they'll maybe send you a beat or something or a beat pack. So I think it's just like keep going, like network, find your community, and do a lot of research. Research is a big part of it. To this day, I research a lot. And second part of the question, fears. Yeah. I have a lot of fears, that with all the success, I think a big one for me is like staying in debt. A lot of the investment has cost a lot of that, even on this tour, to be completely transparent. Like my account has been overdrafted like 4 times already, and we're just getting started. And I look at it as just like, that's just the name of the game and things like that. But it's hard, but when you're investing in yourself, you don't regret it. I rather my account overdraft for a tour than a pair of shoes, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it. And then I think the biggest fear is just not being able to get to the place where I can happily do music and feed my family off of it and build a career outside of music. I think that the biggest fear I always tell people is like me going to a family reunion 10 years from now and people like, you remember when Reggie used to do music? And and it's a running joke, so that keeps me going.
Wow. So you're motivated by fear?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. That's fair. If you were sitting on $1 billion, what would you do? You're talking about like, being able to do all the things you want to do and provide your family. If you're sitting on $1 billion, not thinking about money, like what would you do?
If I was sitting on $1 billion, I would definitely make sure I'm out of debt, student loans.
Of course.
But I don't really care about student loans because they're not going to see that money. I don't think they're going to see that money anytime soon, no matter how much I get. But getting out of debt, like credit card debt and shit like that, I care about.
Right. The interest hit.
Yeah. I do want a house someday or a nice place to like, lay my burdens down when it comes time. And I'm also really inspired by like charitable work and really trying to like, fix one of the bigger world issues like world hunger or like homelessness and things like that. I think we need more people trying to fix the bigger problems and just donating here and there.
Right. Tell us a little bit more about, really quick, we'll wrap up soon, but like tell us a little bit more about who you are, like where you from, like we talked about research, like who are you studying, the craft, like we talked about a little bit about Marvin. I see the Marvin through and through with the beanie and everything.
That's the guy.
I see that. But yeah, just tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so I was born in San Diego.
Wow.
So I got some Cali roots there, which is why I think also the name of the album is kind of like the returning to California also. So
poetic.
It's like it's like this full circle moment. My dad was in the Navy, so that's why we was based in San Diego. He was based in San Diego. And but my family moved to Maryland, I guess, when I was like 1 or 2. So I don't really have a big memory of California. But yeah, I grew up in Maryland, went to high school in DC. So a lot of like my growing pains and things like that was spent in those areas, and I feel like that's what like really gave me my steez and like who I am as a person, just about how chill I am and just how I come across. But I think going to Temple in Philly let me get my R&B chops up because neo soul is there,
Huge. Philly
and also
is
just
huge,
poetry in general is
Yeah.
really big in Philly, and just seeing different poets and things like that made me take songwriting a bit more serious and deeper. But what about me? I love Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A
I'm a big
hits.
Chick-fil-A
What's your order?
fan. Honestly, my order lately has been a sandwich. I like the original. I normally get the deluxe, but I've
Chicken
been
and
laying
cheese
off
is not for everybody.
Yeah, so I just get the chicken. Sometimes the pickles they hit. So every now and then,
Pickle slap.
I don't mind that. But I get the I'm a sandwich and tenders type of guy.
Okay.
Bad.
Cause I'm trying to watch the shape. So
Come on
now
now. Yeah, you
I'm
gotta be
skipping out on the large fry.
You gotta be somebody artist, bro. On stage. Come on.
And then you can't have a
Take
milk.
the shirt off.
Can't have a milkshake because of the dairy. So the lemonade will do.
The lemonade is good though. It's
Lemonade-
really
And they
good.
be
Lemonade
charging
is-
for their lemonade. They know. They add a little 39 cents.
Yeah, you a real Chick-fil-A fan. I fuck with that. We know. So yeah, I peep all that they do. But yeah, Chick-fil-A sauce, the Polynesia, and then the sriracha,
Hitting.
the sweet and spicy sriracha lately has been, doing what it's supposed to do. So that's a big part of my life, Chick-fil-A. But yeah, I'm pretty chill. I don't do a lot of stuff outside of music. I love self-help books. Self-help
those.
books.
What you reading?
Peace in Every Step is what I'm reading right now.
Bye.
I can't remember his name. He's a famous author though. Nishtan. I don't think that's his name, but it's spelled like Nicht.
What, Nisha?
Niche. I don't know.
Something like that. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Like the German philosopher? That guy?
I think so. But
Yeah.
for some reason, I thought he was Asian.
I thought he was German. Maybe Russian. Nietzsche? Isn't it Nietzsche?
I don't know.
Nietzsche?
Peace in Every Step.
Man, I'm looking crazy to all my philosophy homies right now. I'm looking crazy.
You a philosophy major?
No, my friends. I got some friends.
Oh, Tish, not Han.
Yeah. I just found it.
Sorry
I was
about
like,
that. Yeah.
So it's
Is it
interesting.
Nietzsche?
Pretty dope.
I don't know. But yeah, okay.
Janae
Cool.
Aiko recommended it.
Oh, bet.
So
Bet.
reading that.
We love that. What's your favorite restaurant in LA? I be saying y'all be out to eat.
We do.
Y'all be out to
Y'all be eating.
Y'all be eating. Y'all be eating.
Yo, one thing about us, we gonna eat good.
One thing we gonna do is eat.
I mean,
That
you got
aside,
to.
we
Y'all
gonna
be at
eat good.
Bossa Nova.
We be
y'all
at Bossa Nova. Lately it's been Isabel. That one takes the cake.
Okay, where's that at?
It's Fairfax maybe.
Okay,
Off of
my mom went to
Fairfax.
Fairfax High.
Really?
Yeah.
It's right by there. I think like
Okay.
it's almost on the same street. And but yeah, no, it's a nice little spot. It has the right vibes
Heard
for
that.
a business meeting, but it's the right spot for a sneaky link.
Okay.
So you choose what you want to do there. But
We like the links, especially when they sneak. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Might be a bit too expensive for a sneaky link, but
Right.
depends
They
on
ain't earned
how
that.
sneaky you trying to be.
Right.
I like to be extravagant with mine. So.
All right.
Like, don't forget me.
You gonna remember me. You come back here, you gonna think of me.
Be like, I wish we didn't have to sneak. I wish we didn't have to sneak.
Yeah.
Hey,
Why can't we just link?
privacy is key.
The low lighting.
Yeah.
We'll do
The
just.
low lights. That's funny, bro.
So, what is something that you have not yet accomplished that you would like to accomplish? Like something on Reggie Becton's music bucket list.
Let me think. It's like so many that you're like, damn, which one do I want to put in the universe today? I don't know. It's hard.
Let's go songwriting. Who do you want to write
Songwriting.
for?
All right, yeah, that's easy. I really want to write for her.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah, so I'm not too far from it. Yeah, degrees of separation, I'm pretty close.
About to say degrees. I'm
We
about to say,
believe it.
yeah. I'm sure y'all rubbing some elbows.
Getting closer
yeah,
every
yeah,
day.
it's getting pretty close there. So I would love to do some writing for her. I would love to work with PJ Morton.
Yes.
He's fucking amazing.
Yes.
Who else? Let me think of someone who like. Oh yeah, then Fabo, that's the homie. So
Fabo, yeah.
hopefully we
Fabo's
get in
dope.
soon. We've been talking about it, so hopefully we can get in soon and make one for the culture.
We love that.
Incredible. My last question, I don't know if
No,
Nico have
that's
anything
it,
after
yeah.
this. My last question would be, if you had to make, I don't know if this exists, so feel free to correct me if it doesn't exist. If you had to make a Reggie Becton Essentials playlist, and you could only put 6 songs on there,
Oof.
Nice.
6 songs to introduce someone to you, what would they be?
Okay. I would go with Rain in LA, definitely. I feel like that's most people's introductory song.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would have to go with Lonely and Listening.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those two for me are just like twins at that point. They're like two kids that just came from the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go with Obvious. What's that? That's 4.
Love that.
That's the outro for today.
Yes,
For sure.
sir.
We'll go with Obvious. Then I would give them Right Time. I think Right Time is essential listening. That's 5, right?
Yep, sir. Yes, sir. Finish strong. 6 man.
6 man.
Who's the Ginobili?
I'm gonna go with the. This one's hard. Let's go Scratches in the Mirror. You know, let's
That's tough.
let's give him a deep cut.
That's tough.
We love the deep cuts here. That's what we do on Stay Busy.
Yeah. I think that'll be the essentials. Reggie Becton. I almost said Traffic. Traffic is just almost a 6B.
6B, we like that.
Word. Well, man, thank you so much for
No,
pulling
thank
up. We are, but by the time people hear this, we'll have seen the show already. But we are looking forward to your show elsewhere, November 3rd. Grace Weber. Grace Weber's dope as well. I literally got connected with her through the Pitchfork post I did for you.
Nice.
Been checking out her stuff. She's incredible.
She's
so
amazing.
I can't wait for
And
that.
she kills it on tour. It's like great voice.
Great to hear. We in
She's
for
a
one.
vet, yeah.
Man, congratulations to you. Congratulations to
Thanks
the
for having
village
me.
on everything that y'all are doing. You are truly a model for doing it yourself, networking properly, really grinding, putting in the work, studying, researching. Us as podcasters look up to y'all.
Thank you.
So congratulations. Thank you for giving us your time.
Appreciate the love.
Congratulations on all the love that California is getting. We can't wait to see what's coming next. And thank you for being the first guest on Stay Busy Specials Series, whatever we're going to call it. We're going to figure something out. But
Question for y'all.
talk to us. Go,
here we go.
yeah, please.
Do y'all like
please.
deluxe albums?
I have personal feelings on them.
Go ahead.
I've been vocal about them on the podcast. Deluxe albums for me are cool if they provide something different. So the example I give a lot is Wanna by Gunna. Gunna released Wanna, and then the deluxe for it, he completely changed the track list.
Yes.
So it was a completely different experience. You got a new song, then an old song, then a new song, then a new song, then an old song, then a new song. So it's a completely different listening experience. However, if someone doesn't rearrange the track list and just adds 4 more songs and the 4 songs are heaters, I'm not mad. It's really just about the quality of the music and it adding
You don't
something.
want leftovers.
Yeah, don't just make it obvious that you're just trying. Obvious, not to be punny. Don't make it obvious that you're just trying to run the numbers up by adding some stuff to it, and it's not the best material. Like, I feel like you should always be putting your best foot forward, and I think that Gunna did that. I think that who else had a really good deluxe recently? I'm trying to think.
I enjoyed Lucky's.
Lucky's Deluxe for
Painted.
what was that? Painted Deluxe.
Painted
Yeah.
Deluxe. He had that Victoria joint on there. Oof.
Yeah. Who else did a really good deluxe? Lil Baby's was good, but it was really just because we paid. We paid was hard. So yeah, I don't hate them.
How to code.
They've been happening a lot recently, and they haven't been giving what they're supposed to give. So
They're lacking.
So I'm
They're
like,
taking more than they're giving.
But if that is something you're considering, I would approach it a lot more optimistically because it's you, and I seen your work. So if this is you alluding to a deluxe on Stay Busy, we get an exclusive here. I'm
I was to say that sounds like he's
Yo,
this is his survey, his research.
I'm doing putting some signals out there to see
We
what
good.
the temperature is.
It seems as if you want to do one and you're thinking about it more.
looks at Edgar.
I didn't plan to do a deluxe. It's been asked about, and I've been coming around to the idea of the conversation. Yeah, I just, it's for me, it's all about resources, and
Right.
to deluxe version is like putting money or time and effort to an extension of California, which doesn't it's not a bad thing, but it's also like, do we just save the resources and wait till we that's something I got to think about as
because you also want a deluxe to hit.
Yeah.
Like you want to be able to give. I was talking to one of my friends was saying, I have certain ideas that I want to be able to live at the scale in which I see the idea. You know what I'm saying? And that requires resources, that requires timing, that requires certain things. And so, I think obviously you guys will know to make the right decision, but I'm big on the idea of give me something else, the deluxe wise, right? If it's a conceptual album, which I think California feels conceptual.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
It is.
Like, so if it's going to be conceptual, give me another part of the story. Like, for example, I always thought personally, Monte Carlo, I was like, dang, I low-key want this on the front end. Low-key. I was like, I low-key want like the energy, the way you talk. And I'm like, man, put that in the front. Like
that's almost like another, to me, it's almost like, for my projects, I like the outro to almost be the vision of where I'm going next or where I could possibly be going next. It's like that fair. Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like Game of Thrones. The 10th episode is always like, the 9th episode is really the finale, and then the 10th is like the first episode of the next season.
I get you.
So it's kind of like, that's what Monte Carlo is like. It's like, all right, this is where I am today.
Got it. Okay. I can mess with that. I can rock with that. But I think it's completely up how you see the vision of what do you want people to remember California as, right? Do you want it just to be this, or do you want it to be like, a deluxe offshoot? And how many songs would you put on it? And that sort of thing too.
Yeah.
It's this whole thing. It's its own thing. But
yes. Okay.
You got any more questions for us? You know what I'm saying?
You good. You don't have to.
What songs y'all want to hear tomorrow?
Ooh.
Don't say obvious.
Well, we already talked about that. I'm still getting over my disappointment, but I would love to hear So High live. I would love to hear Room 143 live. Depression live. I mean, I know you got Chris Patrick and Shaw on that as well. So, but if you could finesse that, I would be here for that. So,
okay.
Yeah, those.
Scratches in the Mirror. I want to hear that. That's a deep cut. That I don't feel it's that deep of a cut. I don't know.
You gonna hear it?
Okay.
I can confirm. You will hear that one.
Hey, there we go. We like that. And then I like Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo to me is a standout for me. Like personally, I just like the vibe. I like the energy. It's just like very like, okay, let me talk to me. That's what I really like. So that's what I would want to hear. But I don't get everything I ask for.
You never know. We making some changes for the New York show.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. Excellent. Well, again, thank you so much for your time, man. It was really great to have you come through, the whole team. We're excited to check out the show and excited for what you got coming next. So, for Reggie, for myself, Armon, for Nick, do you have your nickname Green Juice? Nah, Green God, Green Juice.
The Green Juice Guardian.
Okay, all right.
I like that.
All right.
It's more like,
all right.
I'm in charge of something.
Yeah. You've been going with this theme like Water Jug Warden. You
know what I'm saying?
The
Water Jug Warden.
You got this prison theme.
No, not prison.
Feds. Yeah, you the feds.
Anyways, let people go, man. This man got to rest his voice.
We want y'all to stay safe, stay humble, stay busy, and enjoy our outro.
But it's just so hard going through a phase. Guess I'll just play my part. I know that you will stay with me, yeah. Cause you love my flaws. Don't wanna play it safe. We grown apart. Cause I don't wanna have to wake up feeling like love's a chore. Guilty cause you think I'm in love, but it ran its course. The love feels forced, and it's so obvious, so obvious. No matter how hard it gets, I'll be right here. And it's so obvious, so obvious. But my heart can't quit.